I welcome you all to the second presentation of this morning, Natya Acharya Vidushi Malavika Sarukkai on perspectives of seeing. One of the foremost exponents of dance in India today, Malavika learned from Guru Kalyana Sundaram Pillai of the Tanjavur school and Rajaratnam of the Vazhuvur school, and later learnt Abhinaya under Guru Kalanidhi Narayanan and Odissi under renowned gurus Kelucharan Mahapatra and Ramani Ranjan Jaina. Today, as I said, she is one of the foremost exponents of the art. This morning, she will be presenting on perspectives of seeing, and she will be accompanied by Neela Sukanya on the Nattuvangam, Dr. Murali Parthasarthi vocal, Nellai Sri Balaji Mridangam, Sri Venkat Subramaniam violin, and K. Murugan on the lights. Over to you, 45 minutes from now. Thank you. And I request audience to please refrain from members of the audience to please refrain from videographing the performance. Thank you very much for your cooperation.
Namaskaram. I'm glad to present a lecture demonstration today at the invitation of the Music Academy on the topic Perspectives of Seeing. It's wonderful also to see so many artists in the audience because I think they bring to the space another energy. Because all artists, I think whether we are musicians or dancers, we seek something else within the art forms, and that's what I'm going to speak about this morning. Perspectives and the idea of how we see something, whether in creative spaces of choreography or in the everyday, informs our lives. It reflects our upbringing, our attitudes, our subjectivity, our values, our sense of ethics as human beings. Our perspectives determine how we observe, learn, live our life. I will illustrate the topic Perspectives of Seeing with an apt choreography, Savyo Bhujaste. These verses are from the Bhakti Manjari by Maharaja Swati Tirunal. This brief session of dance dissemination is an attempt to invite the viewer to look into dance rather than look at dance. And in the process, provide a step to educate the gaze of the viewer to the many layers inherent in serious and informed choreographies in classical dance. Many years ago, I was struck by an observation made by the legendary art historian, late Dr. B.N. Goswami. To quote, "Art makes the invisible visible. By acknowledging the potential of dance for doing so, we recognize the multiple layers that coexist to make classical dance profound, incandescent, and arresting, and we add value to our own understanding of dance and the truth it seeks to reveal." In the session, I make observations from the perspective of an artist who continues to be immersed in the journey of dance through the language of Bharatanatyam. Over decades of working with literature, past and present, my mind has been challenged to imagine, the body to feel, and the spirit to express itself. There are many aspects to Bharatanatyam. At the external level, it can be seen as aesthetic movement of the body in time and space, where the physicality of dance is apparent. At the inner level, dance delves into the spaces of the heart and mind to explore the vast landscape of emotions. And going deeper, it miraculously takes us to the core of our being, into the realm of spirituality. When dance is practiced as sadhana with serious intent, all three levels effortlessly intertwine in the artist, taking both artist and viewer on a journey of self-discovery. Classical dance offers us this possibility when it's presented with a certain sense of depth for what it holds within it. It presents this to us if you're willing to receive it. Before moving into the demonstration, I would like to share with you some thoughts on the aspect of seeing in dance. As an artist, a dancer, one has had the privilege of speaking with the eyes. Expression in Bharatanatyam is manifold, where Mukhaja, Angika, and Hasta Abhinaya seamlessly come together. The language of gesture, Hasta Abhinaya, is a symbolic representation and does not necessarily create the fragrance of fullness. For expression to be fulsome, authentic, the entire body and being of the artist has to come alive. Hasta, gestures, alone cannot fully communicate the import of the idea. If presented as mere gesture language, at best, dance can be read, not felt by the audience. In this case, the audience would miss out on the possibility of entering a world of visual poetry, meaning, imagination, and spiritual beauty. The eyes, as the saying goes, are the mirrors of the soul. To come to life, breath, prana, has to be sent into the eyes and into the entire being. The technique of breathing life, prana, into the eyes, the gesture, and the being of the dancer cannot be taught or learnt in a class. It is a lonely journey the artist makes, taking a step at a time, whilst keeping alive the burning search to inhabit the dance. For this process, it requires of the dancer many things. Body intelligence, together with a temperament that is curious and willing to sustain commitment over several years, maybe decades. Sometimes when I say this, there's always a certain, sigh in the audience, but that is the truth, as practicing artists would say, practicing a sadhana, that it's in the first 10 or 15 years, we just get the basics. It's like learning the alphabet. We do not know how to make poetry at that point of time. We are simply learning alphabet phrases, but that's the 10, 15 years, and only after that is there a maturing. To this undertaking comes the rigor and discipline of internalization, a technique the artist has to find within himself. Devoid of finding the technique of breath, the dance most often remains at a level of physicality, repetitive and lusterless. When the dancer embodies the dance, the space around the dancer becomes energized with another quality and clarity. The dancing body is then intensely seeing. When this happens, the poetic visualization burns with luster and lives in the moment, in the present. No longer does the dancer wear the cloak of repetition. To reference scholar Krishna Chaitanya, when dance is anukirtanam, recreating, and not anukaranam, imitating, it lives in the moment. When this powerful artistic visioning is realized, the viewers are drawn into the world the artist creates, visions. Then the journey into dance, seeing, truly begins. As the saying goes, technique disguises the dancer and reveals the dance. The following quote by the eminent art historian, late Dr. B.N. Goswami, speaks a language that resonates all forms of artistic enterprise and connects, that resonates and connects. To quote, "A painting presents to us a layered world of meaning. One needs to, thus, make an effort to receive from it all the riches that reside within. We must first summon utsaha, energy, enthusiasm, the excitement of anticipation. Then we need to make what can only be described as a visual immersion in the work. Thereon, much can be expected. The joy of discovery, stimulus to reflection, visual excitement, and finally, heightened delight." Unquote. Dance can be seen as painting in space. Visualization of dance could be likened to a process of sketching, drawing in space. The artist with the instrument of the dancing body sketches space with poetry, aesthetic movement, music, rhythm, emotions, together with gesture language using both Natya-dharmi, stylization, and Lokadharmi, the natural way of using hastas. The lines are drawn that are delicate and bold, curved and angular, nuanced and vibrant, frontal and receding, decorative and minimalistic, rapid and slow, imaginative and realistic, singular and people to bring the dance painting to life. So there is a lot that happens in dance, in the making of dance, in the visioning of dance, in the creating dance, sharing dance. A lot we need to know, a lot we need to acknowledge and respect for what classical dance really speaks about at the deeper levels. Initially, in the hours spent on the creative process, and believe me, these are hours, months, weeks, years, the dance drawing is painstakingly created, ensuring it does justice to the concept, to the poetry, to the music. The dance drawing is practiced with sadhana, till the sketch becomes effortless action flowing out of the dancer like intimate conversation. Then, and only then, has the dancer taken ownership of the dance, moving the dance from shine to embodying it with luster. Many years ago at a film festival, I saw Akira Kurosawa's Rashomon, made in 1950. This classic black and white film made a lasting impact on my young mind. For those who may not have seen the film, it explores contradictory and multiple ways of seeing the same incident. A powerful film, it made me think and wonder about the idea of multiple realities. Quite unexpectedly, years after I saw Rashomon, whilst researching material for a new choreography, my mother and I chanced upon compelling verses of Savyo Bhujeste that also speaks of multiple ways of seeing and the subjectivity of perceptions. The idea of seeing is layered and permeates several layers of life. To quote Diana Eck, the central act of Hindu worship from the point of view of the layperson is to stand in the presence of the deity and behold the image with one's own eyes, to see and be seen by the deity. In the Hindu understanding, the deity is present in the image. The visual apprehension of the image is charged with religious meaning. Beholding the image is an act of worship, and through the eyes, one gains the blessings of the divine. Unquote. The choreography I present today is inspired by Hindu temple architecture as seen in Thiruvananthapuram. In the temple, for those who have not visited, there are 3 doors through which a devotee receives darshan of Vishnu. Having visited the temple on several occasions, my interpretation spontaneously connected with temple architecture. The 3 doors of the temple in the Sanctum Sanctorum became the 3 doorways of perception. Finding this link not only reinforced my interpretation, but also highlighted 3 distinct entry points of the characters with their specific emotions. Shringaram for Sri Lakshmi, aggression and fear felt by the asuras, and bhakti, devotion of the devotees as they look upon Vishnu, the Lord of the universe. Savyobhujaste. Composer Maharaja Swati Tirunal. Verses from Bhakti Manjari. Music composition Sri Rajaram. I was extremely fortunate that Sri Rajaram came, on board when I asked him and composed this very, very beautiful, very classical, using these absolutely magnificent ragas to create this piece. The ragams are Khamas, Atana, and Simhedra Madhyamam, Talamalika. I'd like to give you a short gist of the piece, and time providing, I would dance this one piece for you in its fullness. Savyobhujaste conveys through myth and metaphor the subjectivity of perceptions. The deity addressed is Lord Padmanabha as he reclines on Ananta, the serpent of infinity, through the cosmic cycles of creation and dissolution of the universe. The 3 doors in the innermost shrine of the Padmanabha Swami temple in Tiruvananthapuram become a metaphor to convey 3 doorways of perception. In the verse, the left arm of Padmanabha is perceived in different ways by his consort Lakshmi, by the demonic asuras, and by the devotees. To his beloved Lakshmi, his arm appears like a garland of blue lotuses, which she longs to have around her. His beguiling lotus eyes pull her irresistibly towards him. To the aggressive asuras, his arm appears like the brilliant thunderbolt which strikes them with fear. Terrified, they witness Vishnu as he strides across the heavens in his flowing silken garments like a million lightning bolts. To the devotees, his arm appears like the protective branch of a great tree, the branch under which they can take refuge. Overawed by the benediction he grants, devotees look upon Vishnu as the Kalpavriksha, the great wish-fulfilling tree. I thought what might be of interest is to demonstrate how energies shift in the dancing body and how they need to shift to convey different ideas, different emotions. So I'm going to just excerpt this small section where you see the arm of Vishnu as he embraces his consort. You see the same left arm of Vishnu as he strikes the asuras with fear. And you see the same arm that is filled with a sense of compassion. And then I'll speak further about it.
Savyobhujaste Savyobhujaste Savyo bhujaste Savyo bhujaste
Can I have the mridangam a little louder? I'm not able to hear anything still. Okay, can I have the monitors, please, a little louder? Here I wanted to just bring your attention to the certain creative detailing which happens, which becomes part of the expression, and only when there is that creative detailing does it complete the gesture. For example, in the embrace, for me, which becomes even more special, is the completion of it. It isn't just the embrace, but the softness of this. The softness of this gesture, which suggests the relationship itself, which suggests the relationship between Vishnu and his consort. So for me, it is not complete if it's just simply like this, but only when there is the softness. There's almost that, the lightness of touch in the palm of the hand. So it's that fine wrist work over here, which for me completes it, which actually says volumes. It speaks volumes. As also in the next, when you see the Asura and the arm, it is the whipping energy, the whiplash of energy in the arm as it rotates. It is a very strong energy in this part of the body, not in this side of the body, which suggests this powerful quelling of aggression which comes forward. And then in the last one, when his left arm is seen as the branch of a tree. So this sense of the branch, this coming down, it is not just a gesture which comes down. It's not simply this movement. It is a movement that has the intention within it of compassion. It is a movement with the intention of saying it is eternal. It is always there. And so it is that the dancing body becomes this very, very fine tuned instrument, so that if I'm holding my intention, if it's centered within me, then the arm also comes. All this is so close, Vishnu. For a dancer, we need space. I'm feeling very compressed over here with this. So we can't really stretch. And I always ask dancers when we're saying, is this stretch enough? Or that's why we need space. So, the dancing body, what I have discovered, it's only my experience, it's personal, is that it's a very, very fine instrument. And what it expresses is deep, profound truth, beauty, spirituality, philosophy, at its deeper levels. Can it be seen as entertainment? The answer is yes. That's one level of looking at it. But everything has many levels. And what I would urge you, and I would urge dancers here and dance enthusiasts and to look for the deeper level, to say, can we fathom, can we mine from this? That's something else that lies within dance. Coming to, I know Sriram was very clear about 45 minutes. Okay, so tell me how many more minutes? Okay. So I want to just demonstrate to you a couple of swarams, which has been very creatively, very beautifully put together for this piece. And so it's like, what does the artist do when we have music? How do I create dance? How do I create even a swaram with a certain sthayi bhava? For example, the one I want to do now is the one on the asuras in Athana. And since the asuras come and look at Padmanabha with a sense of aggression and fear, so there is a movement front, there's a movement back, what I created in this swaram is a kind of more broken kind of math in it, so that it's very brief, it is subtle, and classical dance is subtle. We have to live with this. So it's not going to be in your face, it's not something which is going to be shouting out at you, but it is subtle and it works within the piece, so that even the swaram, a pure dance phrase, heightens the mood, builds the mood, accents the mood, highlights the mood, but it isn't done with any facial expression. So I think that's important for me as the way I have looked at dance, that if I create any abstract movement which I want to accent the sahityam with, I would not put facial expression in my dance movement, but I would try to create that, as I said here, the aggression, the fear, the going forward, the receding back with a little more dynamism. So I'm just going to do this one swaram.
Takadadim tam 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 takadadim janu kita 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 takadadim Dim da gida da da gida tam dim dim da gida da da gida tam dim dim da gida.
In contrast, are the devotees who come with a sense of supplication, with devotion. And in Simhendra Madhyamam, the movements I've used evoke this. Evoke this gentle seeking and a sense of surrender.
Tam tam tadim dinatam tadinatam takajodutam tajodutam jodutam tadim dinatam tadinatam takajodutam tajodutam jodutam tadim dinatam tadinatam takajodutam tajodutam jodutam tadim dinatam tadinatam tagajanudam tajanudam janudam tadim dinadam tadinadam tagajanudam tajanudam januta janu januta tadimi dimi
it's easier to dance than to speak and dance. Breath is something, as I said, which is essential to the dancing body, but is never taught. And so it becomes each individual to say, how can I put breath into my eyes? What is that? Something. What is that quality? How do I put breath into my feet? What is expression? What is communicating? And here I want to just draw your attention. In these sections, there are 3 distinct sections. But the way the goddess walks, the way her feet touch the floor, the way her feet caress the floor, the shringaram that is not only in the face, not only in the gesture, not only in the idea that she's expressing, but also her feet. Not. It isn't so defined. It's precise, but not defined in that sense. So the Shringaram is in the soles of her feet as well. The relationship is communicated by this, the whole Angikam and the rhythm. The way she takes those footsteps. In contrast, the asuras, the masculine energy, the way they command the space, the way they plant their feet. And here I'm only talking of why am I speaking of this is the detailing that goes into it. Every movement in the dance. There is the masculine energy, the planting of the feet. As I said, for me, that is Abhinaya as well. That is Abhinaya for me. Of the strength, the force, the accent of that also has the emotion of aggression. So this kind of punctuation that we do with the footwork, so often I think in Bharatanatyam people are so busy looking at the face. They don't know how much we do with our feet, with the rhythm. And how actually what you all don't know, I'm just giving you a secret, what you all don't know is your understanding or your feeling that emotion, because actually I'm doing all this. If I just did with my face, it won't be 30% only. So what I'm doing is, I'm bringing you this idea of aggression through the rhythm, through the choice of rhythm, through my position. And then the bhaktas, bhaktas as they walk towards Padmanabha. So I imagine, and so we all are. There isn't this, I can do whatever I want. It's tentative. There's a certain caution. There's a certain auchityam of how they walk, how their feet touches the floor. So this part, the way my foot touches, is also bhakti. That is also bhakti. So it is not. I don't see it like this. So I feel for me, Abhinaya is like what it works, how it works through the body, the whole entire being. It's not the body. Body, mind, spirit. Just one more little demonstration before I do this piece. When the three characters open the door, 3 doors. When they open the door, the consort opens the door, it's familiar. She has been there so many times. It is her space. It is her beloved. Therefore, the opening of this door also has all that within the gesture. It is not just a mrigashirsha I'm using. It is filled with all that I imagine the consort would feel. So there is a delicacy, but there's a familiarity of how she opens the door. For the asuras, have this aggression, but they don't know there is a door, so they're startled. They don't expect to see the door. And for them, the door is much larger. It is not the smaller door of which the goddess saw. So here there is this startlement, and there is a adaviditanam of saying, I can do what we want, and yet being frightened, intimidated by this immense image of Vishnu. The bhaktas are yet different. Door is done for the bhaktas, it's different because this door is, they wonder whether can we go in, should we not? There's hesitancy. They look to each other, shall we? And then there is a slight nudging of this door to open it and then behold and then seek darshan. So why I wanted to say this is, there is this sense of creative detailing which finally is what actually communicates the essence of the piece. As I said, we must, as artists, and this is my endeavor, that's why I work with my musicians so much, and I urge dancers too, to say that we must seek that essence. We can't rest on gesture language to tell the story because that's a very small part of it. And we need to dive deep inside ourselves, be vulnerable, and and go with the flow. And it's okay to feel frustrated at times, because dancing is very difficult. It isn't easy. It isn't easy to tune an instrument as complex as the human body. It's very difficult. It's very difficult, and I'd like to share it with musicians here, to find Shruti. It is almost impossible. This is why we take this 4 decades, 5 decades. Now when I talk to people, I say, what to do? That is dance. And that is the magnificence of dance. So, as I said, we try to find these finer nuances, as I said, from the feet upwards to gestures, and breath. But that is a very big subject for another time. Now I will conclude. Do we have time? Because I thought I will conclude with Savyo Bhujaste to give you a sense of what this classical dance form of Bharatanatyam, this absolutely complex and serious art form, can do, and that one can never really stop working towards it or working on this instrument to speak the essence. So that's the search. Can we speak the essence? We live in such a world of such fake news, and so much is fake, that I think what classical dance tries to do, as classical music as well, or any serious deliberation of any art form, is to seek the truth, is to touch that something which we don't know is inside us, but it is. What dance does, and I think that's the only way I can share it, that it takes us from 0 to 1,000 like this. And before we know it, we are wonderment. What is this form? What is this language that does this to us? Can we have this remote?
शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृद्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं। दुग्धाम्बो राशिपुत्रिया दुग्धाम्बो राशिपुत्रिया कुवलयरचित वीक्षितो मालिकेति पुत्रिया कुवलयरचित वीक्षितो मालिकेति दुग्धाम्बो राशिपुत्रिया कुवलयरचित वीक्षितो मालिकेति कुवलयरचित कुवलय रचित वीक्षितो मालिकेति 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 दुग्धाम्भोराशिपुत्रिया कुवलयरचित वीक्षितो मालिकेति तां तां तदिनतां दिनतां तदिगिणतं तां तदिनतां दिनतां तदिगिणतं तां तदिनतां गिणतं तदिगिणतं तां तदिनतां गिणतं तदिगिणतं तां तदिनतां दिनतां तदिगिणतं तदिनिदिं दिनिदतक जणुगिणतां तदिं गिणतं तदिं गिणतं प्रतापैः स्फूर्जदूरि प्रतापैः कुलिशमिति धियानाथ दृष्टो असुरेन्द्रैः दृष्टो असुरेन्द्रैः स्फूर्जदूरि प्रतापैः कुलिशमिति धियानाथ स्फूर्जदूरि प्रतापैः कुलिशमिति धियानाथ दृष्टो असुरेन्द्रैः दृष्टो असुरेन्द्रैः तकत धीम ताम 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 तकत धीम झुरु तकत भजनु किट तकत तकत धीम ताम 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 तकत धीम झुरु तकत भजनु किट तकत तकत धीम ताम 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 तकत धीम झुरु तकत भजनु किट तकत तकत धीम ताम 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 तकत धीम झुरु तकत भजनु किट तकत धीम भक्तैः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति भक्तैः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति भक्तिः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति भक्तिः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति भक्तिः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति तानं ततानं तं ततानं ततानं तं ततानं ततता भक्तैः सन्ताप रूपातप शमनपतो शाखिनो नाथ शाखेति तां तां तदीं दिनतां तद्दिनतां तगजोणो तां तजोणो तां जोणो तां तं तदीं दिनतां तदिनतां तगजोणो तां तजोणो तां जोणो तां तं तदीं दिनतां तदिनतां तगजोणो तां तजोणो तां जोणो तां तं तदीं दिनतां तदिनतां तगजोणो तां तजोणो तां जोणो तां तं तदीं दिनतां तदिनतां तगजोणो तां तजोणो तां जोणो तदीं जोणो तगजोणो जोणो तगदीं तदीं 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 दिनतां तदीं 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 दिनतां तदीं 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 दिनतां शखे तुझे आलक्षितो सौ शाखे तुझे आलक्षितो सौ आलक्षितो सौ जयतु 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 गोविन्द 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 सव्यो भुजस्ते सव्यो भुजस्ते सव्यो भुजस्ते सव्यो भुजस्ते सव्यो भुजस्ते सव्यो भुजस्ते
And so it is with dance. It just takes you to another world within yourself. It transports you to look not at eye level, but to raise your gaze, to that something beyond. You can call it whatever name you want. You can call it vastness. You can have your Ishta Devata. But it's just to let you know, to let all of us know that indeed we are a speck. We're not anything more, actually. And I think in the arts, in this long sadhana, in dance, in Bharatanatyam, this language which is so powerful, which leaves me speechless even now, because it's always showing me that something which I have not seen before. So it is, I'm fortunate to live a life in dance. I'm very fortunate. And I'm very fortunate to have these wonderful musicians, Neela Sukhanya, Natvangam, Dr. Murli Parsadi on the vocal, Balaji on the mridangam, and Venkat on the violin. Because believe me, what you see, this has come after hours of practice, rehearsal, working to get that fine, minute. And what he plays on the mridangam is extraordinary because it's picking up even the fineness of my footwork. And so there is actually a lot that goes on. And to bring you excellence, there is no shortcut. There is no shortcut. And so it is, I have deep respect for them, for all that they do, and for Murugan out there, who's been doing the lights. Thank you. So there is so much to dance. That's all. And we have to know we are only the instrument. I think that is the truth. And I would request all of you and the Music Academy to have more sessions where dance is spoken about, the technique of dance, what goes into dance, what the artist does, all the aspects of it. I would really encourage more such sessions, Sri Ram and Sudhaji and Murli, to have these sessions to, as I said, educate the gaze. Thank you.
Thank you, Malavika. It took us a long while to come back from Thiruvananthapuram. It was a fantastic presentation. And my takeaway was you're standing on your toes like all of us do when we go into the sanctum to get a clearer view of the deity, which we never fail to do. Thank you very much. Members of the experts committee, anything to say? Sangeeta Kala Acharya, Dr. Rita Rajan.
Ma, namaskaram. Namaskaram. As you said, we just didn't look at the dance. We tried our best to look into the dance. We have gone to the Trivandrum temple and also here Ananta Padmanabha Swami temple at Adayar with the 3 gates. அதனுடைய ஒரு தாத்பரியம், அதனுடைய சிக்னிஃபிகன்ஸ் தேங்க்ஸ் டு யூ இன்றைக்கி ஒரு மாதிரி சுமாராக புரிஞ்சுது. அந்த கேட் through which you can see Bhagavan's feet, that reminded me of the incident before Mahabharata war. Both Arjuna and Duryodhana come to meet Lord Krishna. He was sleeping. Duryodhana, as usual, தலை பக்கத்தில் உட்காந்துக்கிறார். வேறஸ் அர்ஜுனா கால் மாட்டில் உட்காந்துக்கிறார். ஸோ எழுந்தவுடனே முதல்ல யார் பார்க்குறாருன்னா பகவான் அர்ஜுனனை தான் முதல்ல பார்க்குறார், நாட் துரியோதனன். ஸோ ஹீ வுட் கிராண்ட் த ரிக்வெஸ்ட் ஆஃப் அர்ஜுனா ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அண்ட் தென் ஒன்லி. அதனால் இந்த பாத தரிசனம்ன்றது எவ்வளோ இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அந்த பக்கம் போயின்னு தான் பகவானுடைய கட்டாட்சம் நம்மளுக்கு உடனே கிடைக்கும். வேர் இஸ் வாட் யூ செட் ஃபார் த அதர் சைட். அது எதுக்கு சொன்னீங்கன்னா தாயார் ஆலிங்கனம் செய்கிறதுக்குன்ற மாதிரி சொன்னீங்க இல்லையா? அதுவும் தட்ஸ் ஆல்சோ வெரி, ஐ மீன் இந்த மாதிரி இந்த எந்த ஹேண்டுக்கு என்னென்ன ஃபங்க்ஷன்ஸு ஐ எம் ஸோ அம்யூஸ்ட். இந்த காளிங்க நந்தனம் எல்லாம் இந்த கையில் தான் இருக்கும். சுவாமி த வே he holds the mountain on with this hand. அப்படி தான் இந்த நத்வாரா ஸ்ரீநாத் டெம்பிள் எல்லாம் அந்த மாதிரி தான் இருக்குது. அதே மாதிரி இந்த வாமனாவதாரத்தில் வரைச்சேவும் அந்த கால் மகாபலி மேலே இருக்கிற கால் இந்த கால் வலது கால். அந்த மாதிரி there is a significance between this foot and that foot, like that this hand and that hand. அதெல்லாம் இன்றைக்கி ஓரளவுக்கு தெரிஞ்சிக்க முடிஞ்சது. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா, ரொம்ப it was a wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Dr. Rama Kausalya.
ரொம்ப அழகான ப்ரெசன்டேஷன். சின்ஸ் பாலாஜி இஸ் ஹியர், பாகவத மேளா நினைவு வந்தது எனக்கு. அந்த பிரவேசத்துலேயே ராட்சசன் வரத்துக்கு அந்த காலும், அந்த ஹீரோயின் வரத்துக்கு அந்த ராணி வரத்துக்கான காலும், எதையுமே பார்க்க வேண்டாம், அந்த கால் சொல்லும் அந்த கேரக்டரை. அது நினைவு வந்தது சொன்னது. அது அது இல்லை, இது நினைவு எனக்கு. தேங்க்ஸ் அ லாட்.
I have a question. Dr. Araji, okay. I have a question. What made you select Bhakti Manjari? Because it's not the easiest with a lot of long compound Sanskrit words in it. What made you select that for presentation?
Well, many things. One is I had my mother Saroja Kamakshi with me, and she is a devotee of dance. And we were actually reading this at some point. We did a lot of research together. And after I had seen the film Rashomon, and as I said, that made a huge impression. I must have seen it in the 70s. And then later on when I came, I was surprised that we had this kind of verse which was so profound in our text and something which I could actually, attempt to create. So it was that, and importantly, we had a Sanskrit scholar, Nagaraja Sharma, who who was just a poet and a scholar, and that greatly helped in understanding the concept and, getting the meanings. Because when he spoke, we left his session, I was already dancing in my mind because he spoke with so much poetry, So it was very inspirational. So I think many factors, and then over the years of fine-tuning with my artists here. Yes.
Thank you. I now hand over the mic to Sangeeta Kalanidhi Srimati Sudha Raghunathan for her summing up and for her comments.
Namaste, Malavika ji, and namaste to all the artists. In your own words, if you were speechless, I think we are all speechless too. We didn't want the dance to stop, the Natyam to stop at all. I mean, if you had asked me, I could have sat all morning till noon, at least till noon.
They would have played.
At least till noon. Anyway, it was just not seeing, watching, feeling, experiencing, sensing, but as you rightly put it, we could read through every movement of yours. It was that translucent. Your emotions came through so beautifully. And your dancing body, you said it becomes an instrument. And just that word stretch and your demo of the stretch word spoke so much to all of us here. I wish there were more dancers here. You brought out the finer nuances of Savya Bhujaste and the creative detailing, the delving deep within yourself, the interaction, the hard work, the long hours of interaction could be felt by all of us. And I must say that we just did not watch your hands and legs, but your eyes, but the entire body. Every emotion we read into it. You said people just watch the face, but here we watched your hands and legs, and beyond all of that, what your soul said. I think that was truly, truly outstanding. And my takeaway moment, I think, was the bhakta. Not just going on the toes, but the actual looking at the door and, the peep in, the majesty of the Lord. Everything just came through so beautifully through your abhinaya. And you truly proved that abhinaya is just not the face, not the eyes, but the entirety of your body. Thank you so much for all the hard work that you've put in. And thank you to your mother as well for having opened your eyes to Bhakti Manjari. And as you said, I hope the Music Academy will look into the aspect of more sessions of LecDems in Natya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sangeeta Kalanidhi Srimati Sudha Raghunathan. Tomorrow we meet again. 8 to 8:20 will be the devotional music rendition by the runners-up in the competition. And at 8:20 we'll have the first lecture demonstration with Vidwan Tirunageshwaram Subramaniam with Vidwan Tirukadayur T.G. Babu and Vidwan Tirunageshwaram T.R.S. Manikandan on the concept of 32 Khandams and 32 Sankirnams, followed by the final lecture demonstration for this annual conference with one Dr. Arimalam S. Padmanabhan on the Arutpas of Lamalinga Swamigal. Sangeeta Kalanidhi Srimati Sudha Raghunathan will preside, and I look forward to seeing you all here tomorrow. Have a great day and bye for now.